Alright, so picking up where we left off here, we have the slope of line AB, which is 13 over 25, the slope of line CD, which is a positive 12. Those are obviously not the same, so we're going to see if when I multiply these together, will I get a product of, oh, that's awful. When I multiply these together, will I get a product of negative 1? Okay. And so we multiply 12 and 13 together to get 156. And 25 times 1 is 25. Okay, so this is a positive value. It's obviously not going to reduce to negative 1. So your answer to the first example is that these two lines are neither parallel nor perpendicular. They are not the same slope, and their slopes do not multiply for a product of negative 1. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint, and I want you to try example 3B on your own. So go ahead, pause the video. I want you to graph both of these lines. I want you to visually decide what you think might be true about lines AB and CD. And then I want you to actually find the slopes either using the rise and run method or the slope formula and mathematically determine whether or not these two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So go ahead and pause and do that. All right, now that you have done that, let's check and see how your work matches up with mine. Okay, so here's what your graph should have looked like, or something similar to it. You've got AB with these 2 points, 3, 6, and negative 9, 2. CD with these 2 points. So when I graph this, I think, well, there's a good possibility they may be parallel. But like I said, we're human. We don't always do things exactly perfectly, so we need to check mathematically. So I find the slope of line AB by using the slope formula, 4 over 12, which reduces to 1/3. And then I find the slope of line CD, again, using the slope formula, and get 1/3. These two slopes match up, so I can make the statement that line AB is parallel to line CD. All right, moving on to our next example. Okay, I'm going to read through this very carefully, and then we're going to talk about the thought process that's going to go into answering this question. It says, graph the line that contains A, negative 3, 0, and is perpendicular to line CD, with C having coordinates negative 2, negative 3, and D having coordinates 2, 0. So before you read all the stuff below on the bottom part of this slide, let's first just go and graph the information that they gave us and think about what the question is asking me to do so I can then determine where I need to start. Okay, so it says I need a line that goes through point A and that is perpendicular to line CD containing the points that I've graphed here. So what I want is a line that goes through point A and is perpendicular to line CD, meaning that I form a 90-degree angle right here. Okay, well, let's think about the information that we would need to do this. First of all, for me to know what the slope of my red line needs to be, I first have to know what the slope of this blue line is. Okay, once I find the slope of the blue line, or line CD, then I can go about determining what the slope of the line that they're asking me for needs to be. So let's go and see how we do that. First, we're going to find the slope of line CD using the slope formula, and find that my slope of line CD is 3 over 4. Okay, well, if I'm going to draw a line that is perpendicular to that, then I need the slope of my new line to be the multiplicative inverse or the opposite reciprocal of 3 over 4. Okay, so whatever value will give me a product of -1 when I multiply it by 3 over 4 is the slope of my new line. Okay, the easy way to think about this is take the opposite reciprocal, flip it, and take the opposite sign. Okay, so the opposite reciprocal of positive 3/4 is -4/3, okay, which you see right here. When I multiply them together, I get a product of -1. So since this is true, I know that the lines containing these slopes must be perpendicular. Okay, now to graph the line, let's go back to my graph. Because it didn't just ask me for the slope, it asked me to actually graph the line. Okay, so how am I going to actually go about doing that? Well, I've got to understand how to count, rise, and run. Okay, we know that the slope of, we're just going to call this line A, needs to be -4/3. Okay, well, I have a point that's already on the line, so I can use the rise over run method to count from there and get another point on the line. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to rise -4 or go down 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to run from this point a +3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I know that this point is also on the line. And now I take my straight edge and I draw a line through these 2 points. And since I know that the slope of this line is -4/3 and the slope of this line is +3/4, I can now make the statement that line A is perpendicular to line CD. Okay, we will do more with this concept in class tomorrow. What I need you to do now is go back to my Flipped Classroom website. I need you to click on the link that says Take Quiz and take the short quiz that refers to the information from these 2 videos. I appreciate your time and your effort, and I look forward to seeing you in class tomorrow.